Thank you for being here. Other parts of Hug Nation is the daily broadcast every day at 9 a.m., the Love Morning or the Love Ambassador Meetup, as well as Gratitude Circles in Zoom every day at noon, 6 and 3 a.m. So I am so happy to be sharing this moment with you live if you're here live. And if you're watching this recording, hello to you whenever you're seeing this. And if you ever want to leave a comment so that we know that you were here, it really helps to feel that sense of shared experience. So I'm so grateful to share this experience with you. And with that, let's begin. Yes. Oh, did you notice my new shirt? This is a new shirt available in the lovemorefearless.com store. The Sexy, Silly, Sacred. Comes in 3 colors. A unisex shirt, super soft tri-blend. I love it. I'm so happy with it. I got it yesterday. So with that, welcome. I am Halcyon, and this is the Belief Buffet, part of Hug Nation. Today I want to talk about synchronicities. Those times when you are in the flow, when you meet the right person, when an amazing detail or opportunity or sign comes, you're like, wow, I was just thinking about that. And so 2 things happened recently. The first was, I guess I should take it back. Last week I posted a post that I post every few years. So it comes up on my Facebook memories as it reminds me, like, oh, a few years ago you posted this. And I say, hey, do I owe you something? Like, if you sent me an email and you didn't get a response from me, or if I said I was going to send you a sticker, or if you became a Patreon and never got the perks that I'm supposed to send you, if there's something where you in your mind, you're like, wonder why John never did that, let me know, because there's all sorts of reasons why I could have dropped the ball. Maybe sometimes when I'm out, I'll check Facebook messages, and then by the time I get home, that message is so far down that I don't see it again, and I forget that I intended to write that person back when I have more time. Or sometimes Facebook is just terrible sometimes at just not displaying something. This has happened to me multiple times in the last month, where someone says, I sent you a message, and I search for it, and I search their name. I'm like, so I ask periodically, hey, let me know, give me a chance to make it right. And I had a few people reach out to me with some pretty significant things. Somebody who they felt that they sent me a cry for help, that I misread and did not respond in the way that they expected. And so they felt hurt and vulnerable. And while I wasn't able to make it right, I was able to apologize and able to explain, how I misinterpreted what they said. And I think ease some of that built up, pent up hurt that person felt. But that's not the synchronicity part. The synchronicity part is that this weekend I went to Bequinox, and I was getting ready to go to bed, and I was like, you know what? I'm not that tired, and maybe I'll go back to where the dance floors are and just dance for a little bit more. And on my way to the dance floors, I heard something going on down the street. It was pretty late. It was probably 3 in the morning or something. And so I'm like, maybe I'll go just see what's down this dark road. And ended up walking past where the sound was coming from and walking around. And finally, I found this little opening to this bar where people were just having a blast. And sat down next to a person who kind of, when they finally turned around and saw that I was sitting next to them, they seemed startled. And after we started to introduce ourselves, they confessed that they had actually sent me a message a couple months ago asking if I would be their mentor. And I never wrote them back. And they were very understanding. They were very, thrilled that we were having this moment. And in fact, by that time, we had exchanged a bunch of details, and I was excited to hear about their farm and their life. And we talked about, maybe there's a chance I can come visit you on your farm. And I'm so glad that we're in touch. And then they said, you know what? I sent you this message, a few months ago, and I know that, there's, you're busy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I know that you've told me this so that I can make it right and not have this lingering feeling of something undone. And how crazy that just a week ago, I was like, I wonder if there's any lingering out there undone that I can try to make right. Boom, synchronicity. I fall in the path of this person and able to have this beautiful experience that we both are better off for. So that was number one. The second one also, I guess, is related to equinox. I went to this bar, I think it was the Church of Cage, actually, Nicolas Cage, which is a whole nother story of genius and brilliance and whimsy and weird. But you had to confess a sin to get a drink or whatever it was they were doing. And the thing that popped in my head was about 15 years ago, I was with my girlfriend at the time. We were doing some somewhat sexually open and activities and some things that were trying to combat shame with regards to sexuality. And there was a woman who was following us very closely, clearly was a fan, and she was being fairly forward with her flirting. And she was 17. So we said, hey, this is not okay. We can't be connecting in this level. So please, let's keep our interactions on a family-friendly place. Not too long later, my girlfriend at the time, we split up. And I got a message, 6 months, a year later, from this young woman who had turned 18. She's like, I'm 18 now. Could we get together? And I said, sure. I felt like I tried to be as openly communicating as possible, trying to express expectations. And we ended up having a short love affair that was beautiful. And, we spent some lunches together and some dinners together and some wild nights of blindfolds and all sorts of goodness. And in those 15 years since then, I have become aware that maybe there are things that I have done and said that were not as righteous as I may have thought. As I've learned about the Me Too movement and times when there's in places of ignorance or societal things that maybe I was not as respectful as I could have been or should have been. And so I thought back at this young woman, and that, was I out of line? Was it okay for me to allow her to consent at that age, or should I have made a decision for her and said, you are not old enough for us to have this relationship because, I'm quite a bit older. And so that's what I confessed. My sin was that I was not sure if I was acting in an honorable way. And I wanted to ask forgiveness if I'd done something to hurt this young woman. And not 24 hours later, I got a message from this young woman about 2 hours ago through Facebook saying, hi, do you remember me? I have nothing but beautiful, fond memories of the experiences that we had, 15 years ago. I'm now a grown woman. I'm the age that you were when we first met. I'm married and I've got a child, and I just have such beautiful memories of the time we spent together. And I just found a picture of you, me and your grandfather. But I wasn't sure if you were ashamed of the time we spent together. And I wanted to just check in with you and say, would you be okay if I told people about our history and our experiences? And I was like, whoa. 24 hours ago, I was thinking about us and wondering, were we okay? Like, did we have, was it a beautiful experience for both of us? And here, without any I don't know. I mean, I guess cosmic synchronicity, beauty, poetry, she reached out to let me know that, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. And then she said so many nice things. She said, I consider you one of my mentors. I can't wait to tell you how you influenced me to pursue a life of art. And it was just like such a gift from her and from the universe, and just to as we grow in our lives and in our spiritual paths, and to try to like figure out what are the rough edges that we can sand down and try to make right and heal in ourselves and our forgiveness. And to have this thing that I thought was a potential cause of shame or regret was something that was not that. In fact, it was more beautiful than I remember, and the ripples that impacted this person's life and my own were even better than I thought. So I'm so grateful for the universe. I'm so grateful for this person. So grateful for everyone who is courageous enough to reach out and connect and speak and communicate, to make things right, to forgive, to make space for healing. Thank goodness for synchronicities and these beautiful human beings that we intertwine with and make lives out of, and make beauty and poetry and magic. Thank you. I love you.